Hello, 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 hello. Svava Brooks here. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoy our little live conversation here as a community. My name is Svava Brooks. I'm abuse survivor coach, and I love to hang out with fellow survivor thrivers as we talk about the healing journey. There's so much hope. There's so much that we can do to take our power back. Yes, we were powerless as children, perhaps, right? But we are here now in these big bodies. Hey, friends. And so it's all about reconnecting with our truth and really kind of correct those thoughts and beliefs and those hard feelings, right? And all that work is so much more enjoyable to do in a community and easier to do in a group because sometimes we need to lean on others and sometimes others can lean on us. So it's easier in community. So just want to say quickly to my Periscope viewers, I'm sorry, I'm in broadcast mode only over here. I am running the live chat over on YouTube. If you'd want to join our conversation where we are going to be sharing our comments and thoughts from the Releasing Your Authentic Self, one day, one page at a time, please do a YouTube search for the name of the book or my name, and you will find our live stream right there. So how are we doing, friends? We hanging in there for a few of you guys? I've heard from you. It's been a rocky day. Hey, Denise. Hey, Rob, Wanda, Sue. Did I miss anybody's? How are we doing? Oh my gosh, I am absolutely loving all the hearts. Pink, purple, yellow, green, totally hanging in there. Good. Hey, Denise, so glad you're here with us. Good to see you. Definitely just hanging in there. Yep. I hear you. I hear you, my friends. Sometimes, yep, this journey is just about that. And today we're going to celebrate that. Today we're just showing up, doing the best we can. And even that is sometimes easier done in a group, right? When you have a list of people here that get it. Exactly. You're here. You are here and counted for. Check. So what is that big mug? This is my Oregon mug. A really sturdy one, ceramic. I love big ceramic mugs. You guys have seen a few of them. Actually, the weather here, right? You think sun is coming, but then you need another layer. So I was drinking ice water earlier, but now I got my warm tea. So, but I was laughing this morning and I thought I'd share with you guys what I was laughing about because I'm silly. But I woke up this morning and I was just tearing through the house cleaning. And I was telling my husband, I'm like, I swear, if I didn't know better, I think I was pregnant. Like, this is like, wanting to clean and get organized. Yeah, you need to laugh. I was like having like a nesting instinct. Like I couldn't, clean fast enough or enough. So I stopped for a minute and did a little mindfulness. And it's like, okay. Yeah, hormones. There you go, Sue. Right? I'm in that fun stage, middle age. I look in the mirror. What do you mean? I don't look middle age. Yes, Rob too. He was cleaning like he was pregnant. But anyways, I don't know why that came to my mind, but there was definitely a boost of energy and I was tearing through the house. And it was actually, my husband and I, my big project right now, maybe that's why I've been a little more quiet than usual, is that I'm really working hard on getting my new website up. I have my amazing, talented daughter, Elisa. She is is doing such a beautiful job. And I can't wait to show it to you guys. I finally look like a professional on the internet. And so I've been so hard at work pulling together all of the pieces that go into putting up a nice and website, and she is making it look really nice. But this morning I had to write something, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I hate writing about myself. It's like pulling teeth, right? It's like marketing yourself. It's not my favorite part at all of what I do as an entrepreneur. I have to put myself out there, right? That's what you do when you're in business. So I talked to my husband, who is a brilliant writer, and I made a deal, right? I was like, honey, can you write this for me? And I will tidy up, right? Because we both work from home and have a home office. And I was like, hey, honey, do you have a busy schedule today? I said, no, not so much. And you know what? I wasn't resentful at all, but it took him like 10 minutes to write up something for me that probably I would have been like all day, like, right? Or cleaning to avoid it. But that wasn't it. I wasn't avoiding it because I assigned it to somebody else. But the good thing is my apartment is clean on a Tuesday. So it feels good. So anyways, I hope I got you to laugh a little, Sue. But he can see from the outside, and there you go. Exactly. Well, and who knows me better than him, right? He obviously has been on this journey with me. And like I said, he's a brilliant writer, and he writes content all the time. And he is one of those writers. He can write about garage doors or window blinds, and it brings you to tears. So I read what he wrote, and I'm like, oh my God, that sounds really good. A lot of fancy words in there. So anyways, that was my day today. And then actually I was trying to call in to, I'm doing some local committee work about child abuse prevention. I've told you guys I'm a part of a community dialogue. I love organizations and groups that take on really, really big things in the world, right? Changing the world one country at a time. There you go, Sue, right? I'd hope so. And so I was supposed to call in for the meeting because the meeting is going on right now. And I said, no, I can't go because I have to be with my tribe today at 4. So I was calling into the meeting. I actually met with a few of them yesterday. But then today I couldn't hear anything. So I was like, okay, that's it. I was just doing some more writing for my website. So anyways, all right, that's my complaints or sharing for the day. But are we ready? Are we ready? This is actually an important topic that we're talking about today. And I know it's the hardest part, right? And those of you guys who are going through the mindfulness course, and, we talk about it a lot here too, it's to slow things down enough, right? To become aware of our thoughts and to become aware of, what's driving those thoughts, right? The beliefs. And we talked about this at the retreat, right? Is that, we're taking in information constantly from the outside world, right? Through our perception. And, with it, as it comes in, the only way, how humans make sense out of what we're perceiving is to attach words and meaning, right? Our mind is meaning-making machine. And as children, right, we were left alone with making meaning to a lot of the things that we were experiencing, what we were taking in, what we saw in our families growing up, whether it was good or not so good, or healthy or not so healthy, right? And when we didn't have anybody giving us the language to be able to assess accurately what was happening, right? You got hurt. And if there was nobody there to say that wasn't your fault, you didn't do anything wrong, you're not bad, you're not to blame, what did we all do? What did we all do? We made it mean something about us, right? We made it mean, and here's the thing too, as children, we are the center of the universe. As children, we come into this world incredibly dependent and, right, needy. We need a lot from our caregivers. We are incredibly dependent on them, right? That's just, right, humans. We need our caregivers, our parents. And if we, don't get what we need in terms of, healthy direction, dialogue, age-appropriate conversation, encouragement, support in developing our inner strengths and outer strengths, self-esteem, and our capacity to engage with the world and other people around us, it can be disastrous for us, right? Hey, Chrisanne. Hey, friend. Hey, Vicky. She made it. Hey, Vicky. So glad you're here. So anyways, so I'm setting the stage, right, guys, for what we're going to be talking about. But here's the thing, right? Because there was so much content, if you will, of life and experience, and as human, we are just mirroring, modeling, learning, mimicking, repeating what we see around us, and then we play it out internally. So again, without any help to really accurately sort out what's going on, we keep asking questions. Remember, we ask ourselves about this, we make meaning, and then the more we affirm without any helpful outside assistance, again and again, we cement and solidify in our mind and in our belief through our thoughts, this must be my fault. Nobody else is talking about it. This must be me, right? And then what happens? This becomes so habitual that we don't even notice anymore. And then it becomes part of our core belief. And with even questioning, this is the filter, right? That we see the world and ourselves through. So no wonder it's hard to pull out. No wonder it's hard to change and to shift. But it is possible, my friends. It is, right? Like pinning down one of those thoughts at a time, one of those stories at a time, and then follow it back to where it came from. And then taking a look at it. Exactly, right? Those core beliefs become our normal, the way it is, right? What is it? Beliefs are things that we are certain of, right? So, and like we talk about, unless we can see how, and again, sorry that I'm kind of going through multiple layers here, is that, again, part of healthy development of children into adolescence and teenage and young adult into adulthood is to assess, where did those values or these beliefs that I have, where did they come from? And it's normal to start to question them. And it's like, okay, I believe in this, but I'm going to let go of this one. I agree with my parents or caregivers on this, but I'm going to choose a different value for myself. But for most of us, right, who never questioned or had a dialogue again with someone about, what do you think about this, right? Then we assume like this is it. This is, we have like cemented certainty. This is how it is for sure. Exactly. We never knew we had choices. Exactly. We internalize it and it becomes just like the air we breathe, right? So anyways, so how do we sum it up? We learned to be this way, right? We learned to be this way, and we are learning to be different. We are, recreating who we are now. We are assessing our story. And while we're taking the story from here and here, perhaps, and putting it out on paper, and sharing it with others, just to like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is what's been going on in here. I'm gonna, have to assess and take a look at it. Is to then, of course, the feelings, the outrage, right? The grief. And for me, like, it was, I can't believe that I've been living out of this horse shit, literally, I'm sorry guys, for so long. It's like, it pissed me off. And then that outrage also, when I recognized I can choose, I have a choice. Duck this, right? I'm gonna now, in front of me, every day, every moment of every day, I have choices. And if I'm not actively choosing what I do want, now that I dare to dream and dare to wish and dare to visualize and dare to ask and dare to, go after the things that I want, right? If I'm not intentional about those things now, I will be default falling back to my old, right, subconscious, automatic beliefs and believing those stories. So, hey Donna, glad you're here, friend. I hope you're not driving. So the stories we told ourselves, right? So let me just start by self-denial denial is a coping strategy, right? I had minimized, exactly, funny but not, I had minimized the abuse, right? That part of, denial is a coping strategy. It wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? People had it worse than me. All those reasons, all those stories. So, okay, Rob, keep us posted, my friend. Keep us posted. We're thinking of you, my friend. So we had to learn to deny the reality of what was happening around us, right? We know that. And so in order to do that, we came up with stories about ourselves and our families, and we pushed also away the reality that someone we loved and trusted would hurt us, neglect us, right? Not care or nurture or encourage or support, right? All the things that, yes, and this is not about blame, okay? This is not about blame. I'd like to suggest, okay, that most parents do the best they could, right? They didn't know better. They had no idea. So the stories we tell ourselves to keep ourselves alive kept us sane, right? They kept the hope alive in us as a child, that if I just work hard enough, if I'm just good, better, right? It gave us something to keep working towards. So, but these stories, right, are the only way to brave that tragedy, right? So by simply not accepting the reality about ourselves and the way of the world, But these stories are just that, right? Children literally, we make up fairy tales, but then that become toxic and painful, because if we continue to live out of them, they get in the way of, relationships with the people in our lives today, and the relationships and with ourselves, and how we treat and take care of ourselves. So, time to face the truth, my friends. Yes. And so it starts by recognizing, right, that you started that story, but now we're in the messy middle, and you are writing the ending for yourself, right? And that's where we do the hard work of healing. We have to be willing to see, and we are, right, staring some of that hard stuff right in the face, looking in the mirror. So, and now that we have loving community and support of our peers, we can. And you guys, I know, hey Janet, hey, welcome friend. We are seeing that hope and the possibility in each other. And each time you guys share your journey and your process, it solidifies the possibility for someone else, right? When one of you shares, oh my gosh, I've just discovered A, B, Z, D, it actually works. When you have already identified with their struggle or their story, or you see yourself in them, right? If they've survived or processed through this way, then there is hope for me. If they can do it, I can do it. Good, Donna. I'm so happy to hear that, right? I'm about to sneeze here. I hear you, Wanda. I acknowledge they may have done their best, but their best was not good enough. Yes, I hear you. I hear you. But again, it's in the past, right? It's like we can't change the past, but we can set a loving and firm boundary with those people if they're still in our lives, as we are learning, listen, wait a minute, right? I'm not a child anymore. I don't have to be in a relationship with certain people anymore. I get to choose. I get to choose. Yes, Janet, we are so glad you are here with us too. Right? I did not know that, Donna. They say you sneeze on a truth. All right. Good, Janet. I'm so happy to hear that, my friend. So happy to hear that. And that's it. I know we heal faster in groups. Yes, one-on-one coaching, therapy is important. That private, confidential, safe space for processing. But groups, they bring things faster into life. Sometimes, yeah, it can be a bit brutal. I've been there too. When the person across the way from you, you're like, oh, shoot. I didn't know that was because of trauma. I thought that was just part of my personality, right? So I do see, like, as a collective and also as a group, right? And as we are welcoming and opening up to invite others to join us, right? Because we are just a couple of chapters, just 2 steps ahead, and sometimes 2 steps fall behind, right? That's the journey. We are engaging, supporting, and encouraging everyone along the way, honoring and accepting your process, your timing, accepting you exactly where you're at. Donna says maybe not a loving boundary. Some of the people it's loving or avoiding, but for some it's just no way. I hear you, Donna. I hear you. That's my way of speaking on camera. We can use some other language when when it's not being recorded and broadcasted to the world. But yeah, sometimes it's just like, no way, Buster, right? So absolutely. Yes, thank you, Donna. And Vicky says here, I've learned that no parent is perfect and doing the best they can. When my own daughters were abused, harsh reality that makes you have that understanding. I hear you, Vicky. I hear you. And that was not your fault, right? It was not your fault, right? And one of my hardest relationships has been with my mother, right? But you know, we have worked through it and we have a really good, caring relationship today. We are on the other side of it, but it was not fun or pretty for a long time. But now there's nothing that we can't talk about. We talk about everything that happened. And I really celebrate her. And I'm so glad that she, you know, every time I need to ask a question or want clarity about something that happened, you know, she was there too, even though her perception might have been very different than mine, right? So be gentle with yourself, Vicky. Yep, I was not a perfect mother. And again, there is no such a thing as a perfect parent. We're all doing the best we can. But I've done the important work of healing my heart and forgiving myself. And I show up as much as I can in my kids' lives today to support them so they know, right, that I've worked hard at showing up and given them too a space to talk about the things that where I may have hurt them, right? I've given them permission to speak truth to that. So yes, Rob, agreed. Vicky, you are great. We believe in you. You're awesome. Wanda says, no, Donna, not behind. You're just in the back seat. That's an inside joke from our retreats, but it's okay, Donna. I'm in that back seat quite a bit here, especially around my family. I'm always behind trying to catch up. What was that? What did they say? So Sue says, I didn't parent my kids well. I had to forgive myself and believe I did the best I could at the time. Yes, Sue. Yes, my friend. You are and you have. Right? That's it. And I believe even if our kids are no longer living with us energetically, we are freeing them up, right? That anguish and that guilt and even shame that we may have had about not being a better parent, that just keeps that negative energy going. But when we heal ourselves and release that, we also set our kids free. So I'm a firm believer in that. So that's beautiful, Vicky. She says, I've told mine, tell if you need to, we just need to get it all out. Exactly, right? Because that's the worst part if we can't talk about it. If you just saw me, I ranted a little bit on Facebook earlier. It's like, please, can we just talk about things? I know, trust me, there are things that are still hard and uncomfortable to talk about, right? But just showing up and do the best we can, it gets easier. It does get easier. So, Janet, I'm just catching up with your comment. It's when this beautiful group of people love and accept me, I start to believe I can do the same for myself. Yes, Janet. Yes, my friend. And we are just so blessed that you are with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you deserve it. Yes, all the love. All right, let's see here. Thank you guys for giving me permission to share your comments today. Can I share yours, Janet? There you go, Vicky. That's it. I have showed humility and remorse in front of my kids and owned what I did. and not just, quickly moved past the hurt, but really giving them an opportunity to talk about it. So good for you. Yep. Thank you, Janet. And thanks, Rob. I saw yours here. So Janet says I'm sorry, let me back up. The 2 questions today. Would love to hear your comments if you want to add to the conversation. No, Vicky, you're fine. Thank you, though. So the 2 questions today. What toxic story did you make up about yourself in order to survive child abuse? And what is one way in which that toxic story helps you deny reality and sabotage your adult life, right? That's part of it. It may have been helpful in the past, but now it could be getting in the way. So let's see here. Janet says, the main toxic story that I made up about myself was that it was all my fault. Right? So show of hands, my friends, who else can relate to that? It was all my fault. Let's show Janet here. She's not alone. That's why I keep saying it wasn't your fault. Not then, not now, not ever. Right, Sue? Sounds familiar? Yep. Thank you, Wanda. You're not alone, Janet. Yep. Thank you, Vicky. Just see the agreements pop up here. So she goes on to say, I have learned that because my main caregivers were my first abusers at such a young an age, the only option I had to survive was to blame myself. If I blamed myself, then I could maintain some kind of a control, i.e. if I were better, prettier, good, perfect, etc., then they would love me and stop hurting me. Yes, and so are you, Janet. Attachment at that tender age is so crucial to survival that any other option would have felt impossible. Yes, my friend. Thanks, Denise. Absolutely, right? And we understand that now, right? We physically, emotionally, nervous system, biology, we need to attach to another human being. And we will do it at all costs, right? And so because we have this mind that makes meaning, we come up with that. That's a good story. And that keeps us, in the hope. If I can only keep trying harder, if I'm just better. So totally crazy making, right? If you think about it and you think about us as children, whew, right? It hurts my heart. So Janet goes on to say, now in my adult life, it's the hardest thing I've ever faced is to trying to change that toxic story into a healthy one of self-love and acceptance. Yeah. Yep. I can intellectually see how important it is, but proving to be very difficult journey indeed. That little girl doesn't believe she's valuable at all. And it is now my job to help her. It's a shame existence bind, but day by day by day, I'm doing my best to be enough. Yes, my friend. That's beautiful, right? And that is how we change it, right? Because what we needed, right, was a loving, caring, nurturing, loving, soft, gentle, caregiver that was every day. And as infants, right, or little children, moment by moment, attuned to us and our needs. So as excruciating and frustrating and long and hard and overwhelming it can feel now, it is the path to heal that hurt, right? It is what you needed as a child. And you are now giving that to her, right? Because she is worthy of it. And that's exactly how we bridge that. You know, for so many of us, we have no idea what that looks like inside. What does that feel like, right? What do you mean? Love. That's not safe. That's gonna hurt. No, I got this. I'd rather be tough. I don't need things. I don't need other people, right? So it is our willingness to give ourselves, yes, now in these adult bodies. You know, I talk about exquisite self-care, even if it's hard to feel like we are not ready to connect with that little girl inside yet. Start to take care of this body because she lives in there and she's paying attention. I mean, that was my struggle in the beginning because, you know, when I was triggered, I stopped eating. And she would be like mad at me and didn't trust me because, like, how you say you love me and you care about me, but you don't feed me. I'm hungry all the time, right? So I felt really bad, right? I was like, oh gosh, and it was like a doubly bad. So I had to really be intentional. It's like, I'm sorry, baby girl. This is just how I've learned to cope with the overwhelming pain. And she's like, yeah, I know that pain. I'm in it. And you're leaving it with me, right? So start to pay attention to my body and to, right, get the rest and the food and the exercise, right? And for me in the beginning, especially making sure I was eating 3 meals a day. Yes, exactly. And it's not being selfish. Find a word to describe your self-care in a way that resonates with you. Find your word, your interpretation of that. And it is not mine original. I just want to give credit where credit is due. One of the experts that I interviewed a few years back, Franken, it's coming to me. His name will come up. He actually works with male survivors, and I talked a lot about self-care, and he talked about exquisite self-care, and to me, that's just resonates so deeply. So I use that now for me. It's like, okay, that's what I'm aiming for, because that's what I deserve. That's what I'm worthy of. That's what we deserve, right? That's what she deserves. That I'm paying attention. She had fallen on the floor here. Sorry, girl. Sorry. So thank you, Janet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And you are already enough, right? You are more than enough, my friend. More than enough. And we are blessed that you are sharing your journey with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Sue shares with us. She says, the main toxic story I told myself was that I wasn't worth loving. In fact, I wasn't worth noticing. Anybody relate to that one? Can I see show of hands? She goes on to say, the only time I was worth anything was when I achieved or won something. Otherwise, I simply wasn't good enough. So all my life, yes, she says, I failed to measure up to what they thought I should be. Notice the should, right? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So a lot of shoulds there. And for most of us. So all my life, I have felt worthless and lacked confidence and tried so hard to achieve so that I'd be noticed and appreciated, right? But then when we have that belief, yes, perfectionism, exactly. It's like, it doesn't matter what we do. It's never going to be good enough. It's never going to be good enough. We're never, I mean, because we're always measuring, and no matter where we are at, we always put the should a little higher or way out of reach. And then that creates that, right, the gap where we get to compare ourselves and we lose every time. Yes. So she goes on to say, but I never really felt loved or accepted. And I thought I did feel love for others. I never believed anyone could love me. And I believe it was this longing for love that was the door into a 30-year-long abusive marriage relationship. And of course, it affected most other relationships in my life too. And though now I'm gradually learning to give love to myself, to recognize that I am loved and to receive it, yet I'm still struggling to reverse that old belief of being worthless and unlovable, to trust and to know myself to be worthy of love, and so to be open to love. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, thank you, thank you, right? To recognize that I am loved, right? So start to look for that, start to intend that, start to visualize that, instead of continuing to look at all the ways you're not. There's a little shift happening here. I'd say a big one, Sue. Right? I understand it takes time. It's like the mind is always collecting evidence. It needs proof, because when it comes up with that old list, but now that you're starting to focus on and look for and recognize, right? Where is it that love is showing up in my life, that it is being mirrored back to me? And then that's the piece. How do we integrate it deeply instead of holding our hand out here, right? I want it, but I don't want it. I want, of course I want love, but it's a very frustrating in relationships, even friendships. If it's one way, it's not healthy or helpful or supportive. So you're doing a beautiful job. Exactly. Trusting it. And again, going back to my little rant here in the beginning, where did it come from? We know where it came from. And there's a reason why you don't trust it. But now you are trusting you as you're sitting here in this adult body, right? Looking in the mirror, right? Seeing how people are responding to you. Yeah. I am worth loving. And I am good enough. I'm already perfectly imperfect like everybody else. Perfect in my unique expression of this, human thing that we're doing here together. So thank you, Sue. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wanda goes on to share with us, I told myself that I was bad, that bad things were supposed to happen to me, that if I was a good girl, bad things wouldn't happen. I believed that I didn't matter. I was secondary to anyone and everything else. I used that belief in my adult life in the past by allowing men to treat me the way they wanted, by not valuing myself. I would make decisions without consideration of my well-being. I hear you, Wanda. I hear you. And my friend, again, I'd like to suggest, right? We talk about here how we are stuck in this loop, right? Between our biology, our nervous system responding to chronic tension that are tied to beliefs and stories, right? That all those stress hormones still being stuck in our nervous system. Yes, Vicky, me too. Me too, my friend. And I felt like so ashamed of how I would chronically, almost like a zombie, act out in ways that it was not fun or pretty. And I hated myself for it. I hated myself for it, right? So understand your body, your nervous system, you're driven to repeat because you're trying to understand what's wrong, right? It's not that, right? And we without support or intervention, this was what we are driven to do biologically. The trauma just keeps manifesting. So my sweet, sweet friend, I hear you, I see you, I feel you. Boy, do I know that one, right? You learn to be this way and you are learning to be different. Now you are valuing yourself, you are pausing, you are listening, you're paying attention, you are respecting you. And how hard you're working on reclaiming the truth about who you are, right? Your body is noticing. Your inner child, your little girls in there, they are watching. They know Mama Bear has shown up. Exactly, not there anymore. So I hear you, I see you, and I celebrate you. You're doing a beautiful job. So I just want to pause and say, I know I'm being very direct, my friends, about some of these things that I'm saying. So if some of this is bringing up feelings, some anxiety, please take really good care of yourself. Use some tapping, right? I sometimes can talk about really hard things as if I'm reporting about the weather. I understand. But I'm also being intentional. I want to normalize some of this conversation for us so we don't have to, right, feel like this is something we need to hide or feel embarrassed or ashamed about. But please practice some self-compassion, some tapping, butterfly hugs, right? Little EMDR here on your chest. Feel your feet on the ground. Stretch your neck, right? Rotate, reorient, or mute, Svava. Just mute me for a little bit. Or check out, right? You have my permission. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, she does. So thank you, Wanda. Thank you so much for sharing. And I know it was hard to share today. And I'm so proud of you. So proud of you for doing it, for showing and sharing with us, because we see you, we understand. Rob shares with us, I constructed the belief that something bad was going to happen just around the corner, whatever I did. So I stopped doing anything. I went from being top of the class in year 11 to second most misbehaved student in the entire sixth form college. I was extreme, nihilist, and would conduct minor arson and major vandalism, drink and drugs, and no interest in being part of a world that had abandoned me and no desire for the future. I was bopping along with no direction. This created massive shame, which became a cycle of nihilism, vandalism, alcoholism, shame, and behavior repeat. I hear you, Rob. I hear you, my friend. I hear you. But Rob, just like I was explaining to Wanda, right? How we, like, our nervous system, we are hardwired. Your body is trying to figure out what's going on, right? And your nervous system is just feeding back to the mind this information. There's something wrong, there's something wrong, there's something wrong. And without helpful outside assistance, what do we believe? Oh, I'm wrong, I'm bad, right? So it totally, right? We turn on ourselves. So my friend, I am so sorry that you did not have the loving, caring support. Yes, exactly. Destructive person. Either we're acting outwards or we're acting inwards. And if you start to notice, if you look around you, you see it everywhere. We are like meaning-making machine, right? We are driven trying to figure out how to fit in, how to belong, how to understand. And if we don't get that back, we like literally go like, what the heck is going on? And the temper tantrums or the acting out gets louder and bigger. If I failed, my parents would say typical stupid, so I figured on my answer, really excel in my failure. Yes, exactly. And just like you said, then the belief is that, well, I'm just gonna, set it up to happen before it actually happens, right? The same way I would self-harm before somebody else harmed me. So exactly. So thank you, Rob. I am so glad, my sweet, sweet man, that you are here. You are one of the smartest man and the most loving, caring man that I know. I want you to hear me. Yes, good. I'm so glad you're here. Like, it hurts my heart to know. This goes for all of you, but how isolated you have felt, Rob. You are just such a beautiful human being. Good. I see you. I hear you. I feel you. I know you. I am you, my friend. So, I know you're working on changing this one piece of toxic belief at a time, right? And you are worthy of that work. You are worthy of that relentless fighting for your life now, right? That's it. People often ask me, Svava, how can you keep doing what you're doing? And I'm like, because I am ducking worth this work, reclaiming everything to live my life to the fullest on my terms, right? And as you guys know, I'm not doing it out of revenge or anger or being resentful. No, I'm like, how much joy can I feel? How much love can I share? Yes. And I see that in all of you guys. I see that in all of you. So, yes, exactly, Sue. Yes, Donna, good question. Good. He is taking it in, he says. He is taking it in. Yes, you are ducking worth it. Exactly. Everybody here. Everybody here. Yes. Whew. All right. Deep breath, Svava. So, Denise, can I share yours? And Vicky, did I miss yours? Let me refresh. Sometimes that happens. I can't see it. Vicky, can you point me in the direction of your share? Is it above or below? There's dancing videos. Where is it? Oops, now I can't find it at all. Hold on, friends. At the end, okay, hold on. There were so many pictures posted today. There we are. Okay. Ugh. I'm navigating 2 monitors. Bear with me. Let's see. Oh, yes. Okay, hold on. Let me see. How can I do this? Hold on. Bear with me, friends. We still have 5 minutes. There it is. Okay. And Donna, can I share yours too? As you commented on. Okay, thank you. So I'm gonna go with Vicky first. Vicky says, I just couldn't understand why I kept making all the bad choices and mistakes. I hated myself. Me too, I know that hate. Because I confused sex for love, and I wanted so desperately to be loved that I fell for a line. I didn't even know cuss words until high school, yet sex was there. I was gullible and naive, but I thought it was love. I continued the abusing myself. I believed it was me, not my parents, telling me to forget it ever happened. I thought I deserved the physical abuse, and I feel it taught me to stand there and take it. I led with my sexuality as a facade. I was a chameleon. You guys got to bear with me in my pronunciation sometimes, like to fit in anywhere. The life of the party, but in a constant state of overwhelm. I continued on the self-abuse in my adult life, allowed myself to be abused. Now I just do it to myself by depression and anxiety. My body is sick because of it. I have no choice but to change, to heal. I cannot live this way anymore. Sweet, sweet Vicky. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I hear you. I see you. You are not alone. That was me too, right? When we are children, right? Your biology is hardwired to, something happening in your body, right? It's like sex and love. Those wires were all twisted up for me too, right? I did not know the difference. And I thought that was the only thing I was good for. That was the only thing I was going to get, love and affection. So I'm so, so sorry, right? And I was very good at covering it up, right? I used to drink a lot, and right, I've already shared, I started smoking very, very young, recognizing that that was a powerful way to, numb my feelings. And it just felt that self-hatred. So, and then, right, as we are healing our bodies as grown-ups, we look at how our body responded to the physical touch, right? And then we feel ashamed of that. And again, it wasn't your fault. Your body responds to physical touch. It likes to be touched. It wasn't your fault, right? But again, to separate the story about what happened, we have to be doing it over and over and over and over and over and over again until it finally stays apart. It wasn't your fault. You're not the things that you did. I hear you, Vicky. Exactly. Oh my goodness, exactly. And that's the thing today, as a parent, As you know, guys, I'm a huge advocate on parent education, and especially for survivors. Another idea I've had to offer support for parents who are also survivors, right? But it's like there is no such thing as bad kids. There is no such things as bad kids. All kids are just, doing the best they can to communicate. There is something, there's an unmet need, right? There's an iceberg, and what you're seeing is the tip. What you don't see is the need for belonging, need for love, need for attachment, need for connection. You don't see any of that. And a lot of parents are just responding to what's on the top. And I've been through that journey with my son, right? Where, I wasn't the one not seeing what's below the water, but a lot of his teachers in school. And that's why I ended up taking him out of school. So exactly. And that's the understanding we are now giving to ourselves. It's like when she keeps coming up with, but we were bad. Remember that thing we did? Remember that awful thing we did? We are bad. We're not good enough. It's like, hey, sweet girl, I know that's how you thought about things in the past, but I am here now, and I'm here to tell you it wasn't your fault, right? It was abusive. What you were led to believe about yourself was abusive. I'm so, so sorry that I wasn't here until now to tell you, but I am here now. And I'm going to help you, sweet girl, to correct those thoughts. I'm going to handle it. You just keep bringing them to me. You don't have to worry about that anymore. And I know it's easier said than done, my friends. I do know. So thank you, Vicky. We are so glad. We are so glad that you're here with us. Your beautiful smile, your just caring, generous heart. I just adore you. So I'm so glad that you are now claiming it, right? No more abuse, no more self-harm, right? The best we can to slowly turn around those habits. So I celebrate you. It is not easy, and we are glad you're here for support. Denise goes on to share with us. She says, I didn't really understand this question until I read other people's shares. I'm going to share one story that is, I guess, maybe false. For the majority of my life, I have felt like I was valued as nothing, less than human being. I'm so sorry. I guess all of my life, it feels like the only time people see is to hurt me, to use me, or to do things for them. It is very difficult to try and grasp the concept that I am a person, let alone a valued person. I hear you, Denise. Can we also validate and give feedback to Denise here, guys? If not here, then in the group. Thank you, Sue, right? Right? I did not feel seen, heard, respected, valued, any of those. And I understand when we don't know internally, what does it look like? What does it feel like to someone lean in delight? Hey, sweet Denise. How are you doing, sweet girl? How can I help you? How can I be there for you? I want to encourage, right? That kind of language and warmth I couldn't fathom, right? For a long time. But now, right, you are here. You are in the perfect space to learn how. There's nothing wrong with you. You learned how to be this way, right? Again, for the same reason we play out those other things that we've already talked about, we play these things out as well. And when we project our expectations, right, it comes back to us. But slowly, as we become more aware, we internalize new things about ourselves, we start to speak up and we say no. Thanks. I would have been happy to help you, but right now I cannot, right? I would be happy to contribute, but I cannot. And it is a journey, trust me. Yes, you are loved. So I'm so glad that you are here. We value you. And with your engagement and being in this space, we are going to show you what loving, caring, respect looks like and sounds like. So thank you so much for your sharing. Thank you for the comment in the group too, Sue. And let's see here, Donna commented on Denise's comment. I didn't see any other comments from you today, did I, Donna? I saw yesterday's. But Donna says, this speaks my view as well, thereby the necessity to become an expert hider, right? So I'm Donna, so I won't read anymore. I don't know if you're saying no to sharing or no to not having any comment today. I know we went over. Our time is up, but thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, Janet, thank you. This has been the best. We love you too. Good. I'm so glad, right? We go deep, right? No worries. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're wrapping up here, and I look forward to seeing everybody back here on Thursday. And if you can't watch live, please come back and watch the replay, because it's in this dialogue and sharing where there's just so much just gold, right? So much that learning that takes place, and you get to reflect and you see yourself and other people sharing and the feedback. So, and if this was helpful to you, my friends, please, give me the YouTube thumbs up. That helps YouTube to kind of boost me in the ranking, so to speak. And also over on Periscope, thank you so much for the hearts. And also, thank you, Donna. Also, if this was inspiring or helpful, please tell our friends, our other survivors that are struggling perhaps on the journey. Please encourage them to join our conversation, because we know how much this helps us, how much this moves our heart, right? That we know this could help other people learn the truth, that they already have everything that they need to heal and restore, right? And with all the love that we have to share, we're happy to share it with others. So thank you, friends. Have a beautiful evening. Keep up the good work. Some of you guys I'll see you tomorrow, and the other ones I'll see on Thursday. Until then, have a good night. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.